So after I ordained, it became very quickly very apparent that I needed to work on my attachment, and particularly attachment to family. And it was really uh, the affliction that came up most readily in the mind, most strongly at that time. However, I had started doing some work on that even before I came here. Um, and I really thought that I was further along in the work than it was apparent when I got here. So that was a big surprise for me. At the same time, I at the same time that I was surprised, there was also a recognition that this is something that is so deep and so entrenched that it's actually not surprising at all that I should still have to work on that for a long while. And so I've done a lot of work on that, and I just wanted to share a little bit what the journey has been, trying to work on attachment. And what I have done is really sort of use the tools that I have been given to suit my mind, to suit the specific flavor of my mind, which may not necessarily be the same of other people. And so what I constructed was some very individualized strategies to sort of fit my need. One of the things I remember very clearly from that time was Venerable telling me that by working on attachment, by decreasing my attachment, I would actually be able to get along better with my family. And I didn't believe her. It's like, I don't know what she's talking about. And the reason why I didn't believe her is because in my mind, I was really conflating love and attachment. And so whenever she said this, I thought what she was telling me was, you need to stop loving your family. You need to stop relating to your family. You need to stop talking to your family. And so, of course, my reaction was, what is she talking about? Nonetheless, I decided that I was going to sit down and do the work and try to figure out how to work with my mind around this, even though I had my hesitation. So because of my reaction to Venerable's comments, the first thing that I decided I needed to do was really understand the definitions, the definition of love versus the definition of attachment, and that I needed to really work with that to get a clarity in my mind that I was not trying to destroy the love for my family. I was trying to diminish the attachment. And so when I worked for a long time just to get clarity on the two definitions. I mean, really, it's two definitions, but it's like that made an immediate difference after several months, actually, of working with them. And so the definition of attachment, is a mental factor that, based on a distorted attention, exaggerates the qualities, the positive qualities of an object, or projects positive qualities that the object does not have, and then as a consequence, it grasps the object as being the cause for our happiness, or as bringing us happiness. That's the definition of attachment. And then I had to compare that with the definition of love, which is wishing others to have happiness and its causes. And right there, as I started looking at these things, like, wow, attachment is really all about me, about what I'm seeing and what's going to bring me happiness. But love is about others. It's about the happiness of others and wishing them happiness and wanting them to have the causes for happiness. So immediately there is this contrast between where the focus is between one and the other. So, but it took me a long while to get to that and to convince myself that I really wasn't trying to not love them, but actually was trying to take out the self-centered component, which completely tainted their relationship. And in trying to decipher this attachment definition, there were two things that I was focusing on initially. First of all, it was this idea of an exaggeration. What is it that I am exaggerating? Because quite frankly, I could not see for years actually what is it that I was exaggerating. Because this person was wonderful. Because this person always listened to me. Because this person did everything that I wanted to do the way that I wanted it done, because there was never any friction, because this person was going to be what I expected to be, always. And so I remember some instances where venerable children would say, this person might have been your enemy in a past life, and this person could be your enemy in a future life. And I'm going, there's no way. There's no way. And so there was this really aversion to even envisioning that. But after, oh gosh, I really tried to get to the bottom of that. And then one day when I was doing something else, it dawned on me. Oh, okay. How about all those times when that happened? And how about all those times when that person said that? And how about all those times when I said that, but the person did the other thing? Oh, so I wasn't even looking at that. It was completely erased from my memory, from my mind. It was not even absorbed in the mind. And it's not like there were these things that were horrible, but rather because I had not given those things the proper place in the relationship, I was not seeing it in a balanced way. It was so unbalanced. And so when I pinpointed those exaggerations, I felt that, okay, now there is more balance in my mind in how I can relate to my relationship and experience to this person. And then there was the other part of the definition about what are the disadvantages of then holding this person as the end all be all of my happiness. Well, it's about expectations, not realistic expectations. And having these unrealistic expectations then creates all kinds of conflicts. And for me, having a history of being a controlling person, it sort of generated or gave rise to my controlling instincts. And so these expectations were all about, I need to make this person do and be what I want this person to do and be. And therefore it created more instability, pressure on that person, pressure on me. And so it generated all of this unsatisfactoriness, dissatisfaction, and always wanted this person to do more, better, etc., to fit my idea of what it needed to be. Now, so having realized that and having realized how this attachment was affecting the person negatively gave me more impetus to try to step back a little bit, because it's not the delusion is that this attachment is good for them, that somehow is benefiting, and that is really not the case. The other part of analyzing in terms of seeing the disadvantages and seeing where the exaggeration lies is to really look at where the mind and the body come from. there is a sense of, particularly with our family, that somehow the bodies are related. Somehow we have this inner relationship that sort of goes beyond, and it's the end all be all of our life. And so then I did some work on just looking at where the body is coming from. It's coming from the parent's body, which came from the parent's body, which came from the parent's body, which came from the parent's body, all the way back. And so this is not even my body. So how can I give my body to somebody else? It's not my body. It's not. There is nothing here that is mine. And so, and there's nothing here that is my parents, and my parents' body, there's nothing there that was theirs. So on and on and on. As Venerable says, it's a bunch of vegetable goo. And then the mind, of course, the mind also has its own continuity and comes from previous lives, and it will go on to have future lives. And so there is nothing there that I can say is mine, or that I have somehow given, or that has somehow been given to me. So those were some of the ways in which I meditated. And this not the only ways, because I found that there were many angles to tackle in this particular work. So anyway, it is very much a work in progress, and hopefully it will, it will continue to give fruit. And I must say that I have seen the good results that Venerable talked about, in that it has helped me gain a better relationship with my family, because now I'm able to see them in a balanced way. All of them, my brothers, my mother, etc. To see them in a richer context, not based on my perspective, but from the point of view of who they want to be, and what they have really done, instead of my judgment and criticism and expectations. So, thank you.